Picture this. A kid sits in a classroom, he's maybe 12 years old, and a teacher looks at his work, sighs, and says, "You're just not good at this." The kid doesn't argue. He doesn't cry. He just nods, and something very small shifts inside him. He stops raising his hand. He stops studying as hard. He starts sitting in the back row. And slowly, without anyone noticing, he becomes the kid who isn't good at this. Now, picture the same kid, same brain, same potential. But this time, a different teacher looks at his work and says, "This isn't perfect yet, but I think you can get there." And something shifts again. But this time, in the other direction, what if the people around you are not just reacting to who you are, but quietly helping create who you become? That is the Pygmalion Effect. And after this video, you will never look at expectations the same way again. So, what exactly is the Pygmalion Effect? Here's the simplest way to understand it. When someone expects more from you, they treat you differently. They give you more attention, more patience, more chances. And because of how they treat you, you actually start performing better. And the opposite is also true. When someone expects less from you, they give you less support, less encouragement, fewer opportunities. And slowly, your performance drops. Not because you couldn't do it, but because the environment around you stopped believing you could. The name comes from an old Greek myth. A sculptor named Pygmalion carved a statue so beautiful that he fell in love with it, and the gods, moved by how deeply he believed in it, brought the statue to life. It's a story about belief creating reality. Let me show you how this works with a simple example. Imagine a student named Alex. Alex is struggling with math. He gets a 50 on his first test. Teacher A looks at that score and thinks, "This kid just isn't a math person." So Teacher A stops calling on Alex in class, gives him easier problems, doesn't push him. When Alex makes a mistake, Teacher A isn't surprised. Alex notices all of this, not consciously, but his brain picks up on every signal, and slowly Alex starts to believe it too. Now let's rewind. Same Alex, same 50 on the first test. But Teacher B looks at that score and thinks, "He's behind, but I think he can catch up." So Teacher B gives Alex extra attention, sits with him after class. When Alex makes a mistake, Teacher B says, "Good, you're getting closer." And something incredible happens. Alex starts trying harder, not because he suddenly got smarter, but because someone treated him like improvement was possible. Same student, same brain, two completely different futures, shaped by what someone expected. So how does this actually work? How does someone else's thought become your reality? It happens in a cycle, and it's surprisingly simple. Step 1, someone forms an expectation about you. Maybe a teacher, a parent, a boss, a friend. They decide, consciously or not, what they think you're capable of. Step 2, they start treating you based on that expectation. If they expect greatness, they invest more, they challenge you more. If they expect failure, they pull back. Step 3, you start responding to how you're being treated. If people treat you like you matter, you start acting like you matter. If people treat you like you're invisible, you start shrinking. Step 4, your results begin to match the expectation. And now the person looks at your results and thinks, "See, I was right all along." But they weren't right. They helped create the outcome. Now let's talk about the side that hurts. Because when the Pygmalion Effect works against you, it can feel like an invisible cage. Think about the labels people carry. Lazy, slow learner, not creative, too emotional, not leadership material, bad with money, not the smart one in the family. These labels feel small when they're first spoken, but over time, they stick. They become part of how others see you. And eventually, they become part of how you see yourself. Sometimes people don't fail because they lack ability. They stop trying because everyone around them already acts like they failed. When nobody expects you to succeed, it takes enormous strength to expect it from yourself. But here's the thing. Labels are not life sentences. They are opinions that got repeated too many times, and opinions can be rewritten. Now let's talk about the other side, the side that heals. Think about a time when someone believed in you before you believed in yourself. Maybe it was a teacher who said, "You're better at this than you think." Maybe a friend who said, "You should try, I think you'd be great." Maybe a parent who looked at you during a hard time and said, "I know this is tough, but I know you can handle it." When someone believes in you, genuinely believes in you, something shifts inside your chest. It's not instant confidence. It's more like a door opening, a tiny permission to try. And once you try, something incredible begins. You make a mistake, and someone is still there. So you try again. You stumble, and someone says, "That's part of it, keep going." Sometimes one person's belief becomes the bridge between who you are and who you could become. And this is where it gets really personal. Because the Pygmalion Effect doesn't only come from other people. It can come from inside your own head. Think about the voice you hear when you wake up in the morning. The voice you hear before a job interview, a test, a conversation, a creative project. What does it say? Does it say, "You always mess this up"? Or does it say, "You've been preparing, let's see what happens"? That voice, your self-expectation, is running the same cycle we talked about earlier. If you expect failure, you become more hesitant. You notice your mistakes more. You give up faster. But if you expect growth, not perfection, just growth, you become more curious. You recover faster after mistakes. You look for the next step instead of replaying the last one. So how do you actually break free from expectations that are holding you back? Here are 4 simple steps that actually work. Step 1. Notice the label. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that I didn't choose? Maybe you believed you're bad at public speaking, or that you're not creative. Ask yourself honestly, who told me this? When did I first start believing it? Step 2. Separate the past from your identity. Something happened before. Maybe you failed. That's real. But say this to yourself, that happened, but it doesn't define what I can become. Your past is data. It is not a verdict. Step 3. Create small evidence. You don't need to change your entire life tomorrow. You need one tiny action that proves the old label wrong. And step 4. Choose better environments. Spend more time around people who challenge you without crushing you. People who expect you to grow without demanding perfection. Now let's flip this around. The Pygmalion Effect isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you can use intentionally to help yourself grow. Set expectations for yourself that are honest, not cruel, and ambitious, not delusional. Don't expect perfection. Expect effort. Don't expect overnight transformation. Expect progress. Expect mistakes. But also expect learning. Expect fear. But still expect yourself to take one step. Imagine picking up a pen and writing a note to yourself. It says, I am not finished yet. I am becoming better through practice. That note is a new expectation, and new expectations create new cycles. This is also how you can use the Pygmalion Effect for the people around you. When you believe in someone and you treat them like they're capable of more, you may be giving them the most valuable gift they've ever received. Not a compliment, not false praise, just genuine belief that they can grow. Let me take you back to the beginning. Remember the kid in the classroom? The one who was told, "You're not good at this?" He believed it. For a long time, he believed it. He sat in the back. He stayed quiet. He told himself that trying was pointless. But one day, something small happened. He realized that the story he'd been living wasn't the only story available. So he did something tiny. He stayed after class and asked one question. Just one. The next day, he studied for 15 extra minutes. The next week, he raised his hand. His voice shook, but he raised it. And no, he didn't become a genius overnight. But something shifted. Quietly. Slowly. Like sunrise. He started building new evidence. One question at a time. One small effort at a time. And weeks later, months later, he looked back and realized the old story was not the final story. It was just the first draft. So here's what I want to leave you with. Be careful what you believe about yourself, because your brain is always listening. Be careful what you make others believe about themselves, because your expectations leave fingerprints on people's futures. Expectations are not just thoughts. They are not just opinions. Sometimes they become instructions for the future. So choose the expectations that help you grow. Choose the ones that push you forward, not the ones that keep you small. Because who you become may begin with what you believe is possible, and you get to choose that belief, starting now.